It's a Thursday morning. It's Plus Sports on PlusTvAfrica. My name is Wale Scott. Welcome on the show. Now, I'm going to try my best to try and explain to you all what the sports minister said when he was leaving the interview. I'll read you what he said officially, and I'll tell you what he said unofficially when he left. Now, Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has cautioned Super Eagles coach Rohr over his attitude towards home-based players, telling him to shut up and do his job. Rohr had delegated the handling of the Super Eagles, made up of home-based players, to Austin Eguavoin, technical director of the Nigeria Football Federation, for this weekend's friendly against Mexico, insisting that he was hired to coach the A team only. Dare, while on a visit to the players on Tuesday ahead of their departure to the US on Wednesday, called on Rohr to take his job more seriously. I should have Seun Ajidagba on the phone this morning. Good morning, Seun.
Yes, boss. Good morning, and it's a pleasure joining you on the show. Happy New Month to every member of the best TV station, PlusTvAfrica, and by extension, the production crew of Plus Sports.
Amen.
At the start of the new month, and God will pick all our calls.
Amen. I think I should have Shayo Oguntoye too on the show, but let's start with Seun here. Seun, let me use the minister's words when he was walking out. He said the man should shut up and leave the job of talking to broadcasters. He should leave the job to us. Oh, I think I lost Seun there. Hello, Seun, I still have you. He says, leave this job to us and do your job and win laurels for us. Stop talking and let people like us talk, broadcasters talk. You should stop talking.
The honest truth is, the minister is doing what we call looking for empathy support. You know what I mean? What he's trying to do is, because he's trying to win people over to his side. I've always told you that I will say it objectively speaking. When he came with a lot of bragado attitude. But we found out that he came down to all vibes and inshallah. Nothing to show for it, all in our mouth. He would have managed that situation better. You know why? Because quite a number of people are mixed. They are crossed and they are disappointed that Rohr has treated our home-based players with so much disdain. But you cannot blame Rohr. You only blame the employers of Rohr who don't know their job. And it's unfortunate that what we have in NFF is what we call incongruency. Incongruency means square pegs in round holes. Now, the question we need to ask ourselves, what kind of contract did we sign with Rohr such that you would say the boys are going to play Mexico, I'm not going to coach them because they are local-based players. Somebody else should handle them. Another thing we need to talk about, the Minister of Sports who superintends over sports in this country. Have you called the organizers of the league to order in ensuring that we have what we call a professional league? Because what we are doing is
Seun, let me play the devil's advocate this morning. And what I mean is, Rohr, we have never, well, speaking for myself now, I don't know what Rohr's contract says. But he says this morning and says, I was told to coach Team A. I was never told to coach the local-based players. And so I'm not involved. Eguavoin takes care of that.
So I ask a simple question, Wale. In all honesty, the Super Eagles team should be about the best legs that can be gathered anywhere in the world to represent the national team. But do we have talent in the league? Yes. What we don't have is people who administer this league properly. Now, I put a question to the minister. Before the start of the league, he was going everywhere shouting and saying, if the clubs don't meet the club licensing, the league will not start. The league eventually started, and all those club licensing were not met. From payment of players to playing surfaces to security at match venue to all those things, none was put in place. The league started. As if that was not enough, let's come down to the Nigerian Football Federation. Shame on all of you. You brought an assistant coach to Rohr. This is not supposed to be the job of the technical director of the NFS in Augustine Eguavoin. It's supposed to be the job of Yobo, even if Rohr cannot take over the job. But a Yobo cannot sit on the bench because he does not have a license. And I listened carefully to Cerezo, who said he put a call across to Yobo and of course to NSF that is Rohr going to be part of this trip. As I talk to you, the boys are on their way to US. Rohr was not part of that. Maybe he will go and join them later. The last time he was even at the training was on Sunday, and the minister visited on Tuesday. Now, Yobo, that you appointed as your assistant, you don't know that he's even an analyst on SuperSport. Now, you can see the administrative shenanigans, the administrative lapses, and all the disjointed things. The only reason Eguavon should have taken over is if the coach is unavailable. But in this case, the coach is available, but we have signed a contract that is shrouded in secrecy, and nobody knows anything. We have not signed a secret court contract with General. Every coach that signs a contract in the world, we get to know what the terms of their contract are. What is the terms of the contract of General, such that you will say, coaching team A and let the team B go to hell.
Okay, now, Seun, before I go to my next story, which is a report on a Nigerian boxer, a young Nigerian boxer, before I go to that, what can we do now? It's obvious that we employed this guy not to discuss, not to try and improve on our league or our players. He has come to look for players who are playing in Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. He's not looking for players playing in Nigeria here. How can you bring a coach that will not grow the country's league?
I've always said it, Wally. The only reason you can be accountable for whatever your child does in school is when you have been seen to pay their salaries, their school fees. School fees, I want to say.
Yeah.
But like they say, if you don't buy tickets, you don't win lottery. If we have not made our league viable, there is no way anybody can give such a league respect. Like they say, you pride yourself. If you don't pride yourself, nobody will give you that pride of place. And I hate, I detest, I get cross when I hear this annoying statement from Shehu Diko that we are modeling our league after La Liga.
La Liga.
Mr. Man, please hold on and take a pause. Don't make that statement again. It gets me upset. Model your league after South African League. Model your league after the Botola League in Morocco. Model your league after the Egyptian League. These people are doing things better than we are doing. So the only way people will accord us respect is when we run a league that is truly professional. The playing surfaces are good. There is security at match venue. The players are paid their salaries at when due. All these, there is insurance, there is everything. These are the reasons people will respect our league. I keep talking about the Spanish League. Go and look at them. Most of them will come from the Spanish league. It's because they have made their league viable. When you see the English national team, in this current Euros, where they are in the quarterfinal, if my memory serves me right, they have maybe 3 players from outside England. Jude Bellingham, Jadon Sancho, and Kieran Trippier. The rest are playing in the English Premier League. Until we get serious about our league, nothing will happen.
Okay, before I go to my story,
Seun, we have not even made any decision concerning that.
Before I go to my story, Bells was already telling me to read a Jadon Sancho story. Since you mentioned Jadon Sancho right now, let me mention him, and then I'll go to the story, because me, I believe in Homo. I'm a Nigerian. If Rohr does not believe in Nigeria, I believe in Nigeria. Before I go to that, Man United have agreed a fee in principle of 85 million euros or 73 million pounds with Borussia Dortmund for Jadon Sancho. 21-year-old England winger, who is yet to have a medical or agree personal terms, is expected to sign a 5-year contract with the option of a 6th. The fee is payable over 5 equal installments and will see Sancho become the second most expensive English player of all time, behind Harry Maguire. That's big. Now, unlike Rohr, who doesn't believe in Nigeria, I believe in Nigeria. On a dusty patch of ground, in a low-income neighborhood, teen boxer TJ Computer dreams of greatness and the chance of competing against the best. Neka Chile has more. Now, and for the fans of the teenager, he's not just any boxer, but a future champion of Nigeria. TJ trains in a low-income neighborhood on the outskirts of Lagos, having taken up the sport at an early age. TJ and other boys skip, lunge, and do push-ups on a dusty patch of ground between houses. Now, the area most of you might not know is called Alagbado.
My name is Giannis. People call me TJ Computer. I'm 15 years old and I'm a boxer.
And for fans of the teenager, he's not just any boxer, but a future champion of Nigeria. TJ trains in a low-income neighborhood on the outskirts of Lagos, having taken up the sport at an early age.
I started boxing at the age of 2 years. My dad introduced me to boxing and I love the way he introduced me to that. The first technique he taught me was that he taught me how to block, how to guide, and how to stand on my boxing position. That's how I started boxing.
The training is rudimentary. TJ and other boys skip, lunge, and do push-ups on a dusty patch of ground between houses. For sparring practice, they lay down rubber mats in the shape of a ring. But TJ wants to go to the next level. He hopes to be spotted by a scout, preferably from the Nigerian diaspora. The dream is to be taken to a country where he can train at a professional indoor gym and compete with the best.
I want to become a professional fighter. I'm an international fighter like Anthony Joshua, Mike Tyson, Tyson Fury, and I want to represent Nigeria.
For those who've watched him fight, such an ambition is within his reach.
We discover our kid from lower stage. If you discover them that some children, they used to play with something or they used to play with dangerous something, they will just look at this dangerous something that they are doing, what is going to comply with the dangerous something, and they will introduce sport together with it so that they will be maintaining it and to not be using it as a ras.
At an open-air match in another part of Lagos, a sizable crowd cheers on the young fighters. Among them, amateur boxer Akim Kilani.
He's our champion. He's Nigeria. He will be Nigerian champion tomorrow.
The outcome of the bout, another trophy for TJ's growing collection. And the teen hopes to add more by touring the country in coming months.
Seun, that was TJ Computer from Alagbado. Young boy, very small boy, started boxing at an early age. He's becoming a star already. And he says he wants to be like Anthony Joshua and the rest of our Nigerian boys who are actually doing well abroad. General doesn't believe in Nigeria. I mean, I do. And I believe in TJ.
I've always said it that the sport in Nigeria is a microcosm of the country itself. If the country is better and we are serious about sport, we will not be having any problem. I've always said it that Nigeria has got talent. All they need is the up-to-date facilities and modern equipment, and you see them flourishing. Francis Obikwelu left Nigeria. The next year went to Portugal and won silver in the Olympics. So if these people have the enabling environment to succeed, the sky is their starting point.
Well, before I go to my next story, let me first of all tell myself I eat the humble pie this morning. I am not afraid to say I'm sorry when I'm wrong. Everybody who called said it was definitely a 3 Lions day, England would win. And I said no, it's all Shaft, the German machines. The Germans lost to England 2-0. I ate the humble pie this morning. Celebrations erupted on Tuesday after England beat Germany, the Euro 2-0 in the 2020 quarterfinals, their first knockout victory over their old rivals since the 1966 World Cup finals. Images on social media showed England fans in England's Southampton marching on the streets, celebrating, singing "It's Coming Home," the anthem of the Euro 96. That song was thrown back in the England's faces when joyous German fans sang "Football's Coming Home" after beating the host on penalties in the semi-finals. That was just one of all too many tearful tournament exits at Germany's hands It began with the extra time defeat in the 1970 World Cup quarterfinals when holders England blew a 2-0 lead and reached its zenith with 1990 World Cup semi-final penalty shootout in agony again when they lost to the Diamond Shafts. Seun Ajidagba was saying a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago, I ate the humble pie this morning. I gave the game to the Diamond Shaft. England won, and now the fans are running around in England, in Southampton precisely, shouting, it's coming home to England. Can they win this?
They should be coming down.
Okay.
You don't win the Euros from the round of 16, no?
Yes, sir.
There is still a quarter-final game, and there is still a semi-final game, and there is still even a final game to be played. So let them not be too over the moon concerning what has happened. They should cool down. Yes, they are done well. They are the only team left in the Euros that is yet to concede a goal, but they should calm down. It's still the quarter-finals. And the team they are facing in the quarter-finals, yes, by virtue of what they have done, they should be able to beat the Ukrainians. But hey, we have traveled this road severally. Some things can just bring up surprises. So they should cool down. He's not coming home yet.
Okay.
Not until they win the final.
Okay. Now, I've always called this guy a fluke, and I still think he's a fluke. For the second time in 3 days, a British hero, Andy Murray, left a late-night centre court crowd spellbound as he battled past German qualifier Oscar Otte to win a 5-set epic and reach the third round. It was a fair but quieter earlier in the day as top seed Novak Djokovic dispatched Kevin Anderson in clinical fashion, winning 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 to reach the third round. Australian maverick Nick Kyrgios reached the second round as he returned to beat Frenchman Hugo Humbert 9-7 in the fifth set in a match that began the night before. But the women's fourth and fifth seeds both lost. Now, Andy Murray appeared down and out on Wednesday, but he was back doing what he likes best at Wimbledon, picking himself up and dusting himself down as he roared to a 6-3, 4-6, 4-6, 6-4, 6-2 second-round win over little-known German qualifier Oscar Otte. Now, before Wednesday, Murray had never lost a Grand Slam match to a player ranked as low as number 151, Otte, and he had never been beaten before the third round at the All England club. In other play on Wednesday, Russia's Andrei Rublev powered past Lloyd George Harris of South Africa 6-1, 6-2, 7-5. Rublev will now face Italian Fabio Fognini in the third round. Seun, I've always called him a fluke, Andy Murray, but this was beautiful. He came back from nothing, from the dead, to actually win this one.
You have to give credit to Andy Murray. The rigors, the travails, the trials he has undergone in recent years have been very enormous. There was a time Andy Murray said it was even difficult for him to lace his canvas shoe because of the hip injury he had. So he's just coming back, and I hope he can get better. Don't forget that he broke a 77-year-old record for Great Britain when he first won his first Grand Slam. He's won the Olympics, he's won Grand Slam. So, yes, he might not have won the Grand Slam that the likes of Federer, Nadal, and of course, Novak Djokovic has won. But give credit to him, he's gradually coming back, and I hope he can get better. But to win the Wimbledon, it's a long shot.
Seun, I think you were the one on the phone last week or 2 weeks ago when I spoke about a transgender weightlifter who actually competed as a man in 2013 and is going to be competing in the Tokyo Olympics this year as a woman. And some people are saying that's not right. But let me read you this story now. Another person is in the news again. Her name is Mandy Bujold. She's a Canadian boxer. She said on Wednesday that her dream to compete in the Tokyo Olympics was intact after the Court of Arbitration for Sports ruled that qualification criteria must accommodate women who were pregnant or had given birth. Now, after qualifying events were cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the International Olympic Committee IOC decided to use results from 3 tournaments over an 11-month period between 2018 and 2019 to determine Tokyo boxing berth. But Bujold, a 2-time Pan Am Games champion, who was among the top flyweights in the world before her maternity leave, was pregnant and postpartum during the adjusted period and was therefore left without any qualification points.
This was my last chance at the Olympics, and I did everything right within my control. That's why when it came to my pregnancy, I planned it according to the Olympic cycle, I prepared, and I did exactly what female athletes are asked to do between Olympic Games. I can say that this has been one of the biggest fights of my career, but also the fight with the most meaning. I was standing up for what I believe is right and for the dream that I had worked so hard for. Well, I haven't started celebrating yet. To be honest, I think we were anticipating which way it was going to go. It was so hard to tell. It hasn't quite settled in yet, but you know what? I was at the gym today. I got my rounds in, and I mean, at this point, I just have to continue training and preparing for Tokyo.
So Seun Bujold will be at the Olympics despite the fact that she was pregnant during the time of the testing. But my question is, if somebody during the Edo 2012 Sports Festival, she was pregnant and she was a taekwondoist and she did well, she won a medal. What if the person says she can do it, the staff says they can do it, leave her alone, let her do it now?
Well, you can say that as long as the person has been medically certified to go ahead with that sport. The one that you saw from that Lagos athlete that she did was the demonstration taekwondo.
Yes.
It's not as if she's fighting anybody. She's just demonstrating. But again, some will say in all of the things she's doing, she might be discomforting the baby.
If she was your wife, Seun, would you agree?
She has finally given birth. So
if she was your wife, Seun, would you agree?
No.
We are saying the same thing.
The doctor said, but on this issue of transgender, some will want to make a case for Caster Semenya.
Of course.
Why are you debarring her from competing in the 800 meters? But they are saying that our fellow athletes are saying she's having an undue advantage over them because of a high level of testosterone, that she needs to take some drugs to reduce that high level and get to their own level. So for this one now, they said over a period of time, the person has been using drugs. So if you are moving from a male to a female, you must have been taking some drugs to supplement that high level of testosterone that you have in your system. Because the truth of the matter is that the testosterone in male is different from that of female.
No doubt.
But some will still want to say it's double standard.
Okay. Now, the Milwaukee Bucks lost Giannis Antetokounmpo to injury as the Atlanta Hawks leveled the NBA Eastern Conference Finals 2-2 with a blowout victory in Game 4. Now, Lou Williams and Bogdan Bogdanovic scored 21 and 20 in the 110-28 romp, stepping up while talisman Trae Young watched on from courtside. Two-time MVP Giannis landed awkwardly in the third quarter while contesting a Clint Capella alley-oop. The Bucks face a nervous weight on their star man's fitness, while Young is set to return for Game 5 in Milwaukee on Thursday. That's later tonight. Now, quickly, somebody was telling me a few minutes ago, Seun Ajidagba, that he's giving this particular NBA Finals to Phoenix Suns. I was giving it to Milwaukee Bucks because of Giannis, who is supposed to be Nigerian.
Quick one, Phoenix Suns are through to the final. They deserve to be in the final.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the LA Lakers fans will be very happy that the Clippers are out of it because it's a big rival between the Clippers and, of course, the LA Lakers. They are both in the same LA. But the absence of Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, will be a massive blow to the Milwaukee Bucks.
No doubt.
And that might give advantage to Atlanta Hawks. More importantly, the way Trae Young has been playing. So if he does not recover in time, I see a Suns and the Hawks final.
Thank you very much for joining us this morning, Seun Ajidagba. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's all we can take on the show today. Plus Sports and Plus TV Africa on a Thursday morning. Join us same time tomorrow, same station. My name is Wally Scott. Like I always advise you at the end of every show, if not for anything, at least for your heart, do some sports.